You can't build a peak season team during peak season. If you're a scaling retail or e-commerce brand and you have a peak period coming, such as Black Friday, Christmas, a major product launch, a new market entry, this is one thing you should be doing right now that almost no one is doing, and that's building your talent pipeline. Not posting jobs and praying, not waiting for someone to leave and then panic, building proactively months before you need anyone in a seat. Brands that crush their peak periods are not the ones who hired the best people during the peak. They're the ones who hired the right people well before the peak, when they had time, when they had options, and when the best candidates were actually available to be found. If you leave this until you need it, you've already lost. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a talent pipeline, what the process looks like, how to time it, how to prioritize when you have multiple roles to fill, and how to stop hiring reactively for good. I'm Beck Tepe, founder of Alt Recruitment. We specialize in placing high-performance marketing, digital, and e-commerce talent inside fast-growth retail and beauty brands, from founder-led businesses through to organizations with 300, 400, 500 plus people. And across all of them, the pattern is the same. The businesses that build strong teams consistently are not smarter or better resourced. They just start earlier and plan for it. If this is the kind of content that you want to see more of, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. This is how most organizations hire. A role opens, someone resigns, the team is stretched thin, a new project lands that you weren't expecting, and then suddenly there's this pressure. You post the job, you wait, you sift through whoever applies, and you make the best decision you can under a tight timeline with whoever is available right now. That process has 3 compounding problems. The first problem is you're choosing whoever is available, not whoever is best. And when you hire reactively, your candidate pool is limited to people who are actively looking at that exact moment. That is statistically the bottom 30% of the market. The top performers, the people who would actually make an impact in your business, are not in that pool. They are employed, they are doing well, and they're not refreshing Seek. The only way to reach them is if someone goes and gets them. Problem 2 is time pressures that make you settle. So you have a gap to fill, the team is under pressure, a peak period is coming, so you speed up the process. You convince yourself the candidate is good enough, and 3, 6, 12 months later, you're either managing a performance issue or back to square one, finding someone. Mid-peak, understaffed and hiring again. Or you keep them, but you don't get the results that you are actually aiming for. Problem 3 is that reactive hiring creates a ceiling on your team quality. Every time you hire under pressure, you miss the chance to hire someone genuinely exceptional. You fill the gap. You don't build the team. Over time, the cumulative effect of reactive hiring is a team that's adequate, not one that actually gets you to your desired state. Talent pipelining exists to break that cycle entirely. So I want to tell you exactly what talent pipelining is. Talent pipelining is the process of identifying, engaging, and nurturing high-quality candidates before a role actually becomes available. You build a relationship before there's a vacancy. So when the moment comes, and it always comes, you have a warm, qualified talent pipeline who know your brand and are open to a conversation. Think about it this way. Reactive hiring is like going to the supermarket when you're hungry. You make the worst decisions, you grab whatever's in front of you, and you regret it. Pipelining is having a stocked fridge. You've already done the thinking, you've already got what you need, and when it's time, you move fast. The key thing to understand is that the best talent has a long lead time. The more senior and specialized the roles are, the more runway that you need. So building a pipeline is not a 2-week exercise, it's a 3 to 4 month process minimum for specialized roles. And for volume roles, it should never really stop. And this approach is especially powerful if you're about to bring a function in-house. So you've been relying on an agency for your paid media, and now you want to bring that in-house. Or you're building a content team from scratch, or you're scaling into a new market and you need a specific set of people in place before that happens. These are exactly the scenarios where starting early isn't just smart, it's the difference between being ready and being behind. I'm going to break that down in the next section because the timing is everything. So how to build your talent pipeline. One of the biggest mistakes I see scaling brands make is treating all roles the same. They don't have the same lead time, they don't carry the same risk, and they don't have the same urgency. So the first thing you need to do is segment your roles into 2 categories. Category 1 is volume roles. These are your entry-level and coordinator level positions, customer service, warehouse operations, marketing coordinators, junior content roles, the kind of roles where you regularly need multiple people and where turnover is much higher. For these roles, the pipeline should be constant and ongoing. It should always be running in the background. You're never between hiring for volume roles in a scaling brand. You're always building a bench and always keeping warm relationships with good candidates and always ready to move quickly when a gap opens. The worst time to start sourcing for a volume role is after someone leaves. You should already know who to call. Category 2 is specialized roles. These are your mid to senior hires, so head of performance marketing, head of digital, e-commerce managers, brand managers, performance marketers, etc. Roles where the right person takes months to find and the wrong person costs 6 figures in lost time and output. For these roles, you need a minimum 4-month pipeline window before your desired start date. So you need to work backwards. If you need someone in the seat by October, you start in June, not August, not September, in June, because the search takes time, the screening takes time, and the nurturing takes time, and the notice period takes time. If you start in September for an October start, you're not getting your first choice, you're getting whoever is available at short notice. Building a 4-month talent pipeline is long enough to look at every possible candidate, but short enough to keep talent excited and engaged. When you have multiple specialized roles, this is where it gets strategic and where most organizations completely fall apart. If you have 3, 4, 5 plus senior roles to fill, you cannot treat them as equally urgent and start them all at once. You need to think like an operator, not just a hiring manager. Here's the question to ask: which roles unlock all the others? Some hires are dependencies. Your head of e-commerce needs to be in place before you hire the performance marketing manager who will report into them, because that person should have input into that hire. Your head of creative needs to be on board before you build out a creative team. Otherwise, you're hiring people who will inherit a brief but doesn't represent the person who will actually deliver it. So when you have a volume of specialized roles, here's the process. You should be listing every role and what's required. You should be assigning each one a desired start date based on when the business actually needs them. Considering your marketing calendar and key events across the year, you need to identify which roles are dependencies, so which hires need to happen before another role can be properly briefed or filled. And finally, prioritizing by urgency and sequence. You're not just hiring, you are building an org structure in the right order, and that requires thinking like a business operator, not someone backfilling a role. If you want to take what we've just covered and apply it to your own business, I've put together a free talent pipeline planner. It's a simple document with all of this mapped out. I've put it in the description below. Now, I want to pause here for a second, because if you're listening to this and thinking this is a lot to manage, it's because it is a lot to manage. Prioritizing roles, timing multiple searches, building pipelines across different levels of seniority, it is a significant lift. This is exactly the work we do with our clients. If you're sitting inside a scaling retail or e-commerce business and you know your hiring needs are about to become more complex, connect with me. The link is in the description. I'd be happy to have a chat. So now we're moving into the pipeline process. So you've segmented your roles and you know where you need to start. Now here's what the actual pipeline build looks like. Think of this less like a recruitment process and more like a talent marketing campaign. You're putting your brand in front of the right people over time. So when you're ready to hire, the right people are already warmed up and paying attention. So phase 1 is role clarity. This happens at the very beginning in month 1. Before anything goes live, get crystal clear on what you actually need, not just the job title, but what success looks like in 6 to 12 months. What does the role need to deliver? What person thrives in your culture and at your pace? This sounds obvious, but most businesses skip it. They write a job description in 20 minutes, post it, and wonder why the wrong people apply. Clarity at this stage changes the quality of everything that follows. If you're not sure what great looks like, you're never going to be able to spot it. I talk more about this in another video, which I'll link here in the description. Phase 2 is going live and creating a dedicated space where you store and manage your talent. This also happens in month 1. So once the role is defined, get it visible, but do it strategically. Think of this as your talent marketing campaign. Post a live job on your careers page and work with your marketing team on communications to push it out. A well-written role on your own website, promoted through your brand's channels, will attract candidates who already know and respect what you're building. And that really matters. For volume roles or roles that you hire regularly for, consider running a live expression of interest ad, something that sits open for months on end, continuously feeding good people into your pipeline, even when you're not actively hiring right now. Here's the operational piece most people miss. Every role needs its own dedicated home. One inbox, one folder, one place where every single applicant lands. If you have an ATS system, an applicant tracking system, funnel everyone back to that one job listing. If you don't have an ATS, create a dedicated email folder or shared drive per role. The goal is that at any point, you or anyone in your team can open that folder and see exactly who is in your pipeline, where they're up to, and what the next step is. Chaos in the inbox is where good candidates get lost. Phase 3 is keeping the relationship warm, ongoing. This is the part that most businesses either don't think about or don't have time for, and it's often what separates a good hire from a great one. When someone applies or expresses interest early in your pipeline window, they're not necessarily ready to move right now. Your job is to keep them warm. That might be a quick email update letting them know that the role is still building. It might be following them on LinkedIn and engaging with their content. It might be a brief check-in a few weeks after that first contact. The point is simple. People who feel seen and respected, they stay interested. People who hear nothing from you after applying will move on, and they'll remember how it felt. Your employer brand is being shaped by every single interaction in this process, even the ones that you think are small and irrelevant. And here's something that doesn't get said enough. How you treat people during your hiring process is a reflection of your employer brand. Candidates who are considering a role with you are simultaneously assessing your business. The way you communicate, the speed of your response, the level of respect shown, all of this is being evaluated. A rushed, disorganized, or dismissive process will cost you great people before you even get the chance to make them an offer. Which brings me to this: don't settle. Rushed hiring, filling the gap with someone who is almost right, is almost always a mistake. The data on this is consistent. A mediocre hire rarely improves. You end up managing a performance issue, having a difficult exit conversation, and starting the search again 3 to 4 months later with more pressure and less time. An exceptional hire requires strategic planning. It is not luck. It's the result of starting early, being clear on what that looks like, and holding that standard. One more thing on the nurture side that most hiring leaders overlook entirely. What do you do with someone who is genuinely excellent, but the timing isn't right? Maybe the role isn't open yet. Maybe they're not ready to move for another 6 months. Don't lose them. Create a dedicated talent pool folder, separate from your active roles, somewhere you will actually go back to and save those people properly. Note where the conversation is up to, what role they'd be suited for, and when to follow up. And put that follow-up in your calendar, and do a quick follow-up every couple of months, a genuine check-in. Let them know that you haven't forgotten them, and that when the right role opens, that they would be the first person that you would call. Be transparent with them, tell them that the timing isn't quite right, but that you are interested in them. This kind of relationship takes almost no time to maintain and almost always pays off. Because when the role does open and when you are under pressure, the last thing you want is to be scrambling to find that great candidate. If you want to go deeper on this, I have a video that covers exactly why shortlists fall apart, and a lot of it comes back to how candidates feel during the process and how well your hiring process is actually set up. I'll link it in the description here. Phase 4 is ramping up paid advertising closer to the 2nd and 3rd months. Paid advertising is a tool for your pipeline, but timing matters. Running ads too early, months before you need anyone, can get really expensive. The sweet spot is ramping up paid reach as you get closer to actively selecting candidates. The goal at this stage is to amplify your pipeline you've already been building. You want volume and momentum at the exact point where you're ready to review and respond quickly. Because if someone applies and hears nothing for 3 weeks, you have already lost them. Before we move on, I want to talk about one of the most effective talent pipeline channels available to you, and the one that almost nobody invests in properly, a referral incentive program. This matters more than most hiring leaders realize. Research consistently shows that 34% of referred candidates are hired, compared to a fraction of that for job board applications. But it gets better. Referred employees have a retention rate of 42% versus 32% for non-referred hires. That is a significant gap. If you're looking for high quality, culturally aligned talent who stays, referrals are one of the most powerful and cost-effective programs that you can invest in. Your current team members are already spending time with like-minded people in their professional networks, at industry events, and in their personal friendship groups. Many of these people have already heard about your brand. Some of them are already quietly interested. Your team is sitting on a warm network of untapped talent, and most businesses never activate it. But the thing about referral programs is that they only work if the incentive is genuinely worth it. A token gesture won't move anyone. You need to make the incentive feel real and exciting for the person you're asking. For entry-level and coordinator roles, a referral incentive of somewhere between $500 and $1,000 is typically appropriate. But for more specialized or senior roles, the incentive needs to scale accordingly. If someone is already on a $5,000 performance bonus, a $1,000 referral incentive is not going to motivate them. You need to match the incentive to the seniority of the role and the effort involved in making a quality referral. The investment is almost always worth it when you consider what you're saving in agency fees, time, and the cost of a bad hire. You need to set clear parameters, be specific about what you're looking for, and make it easy for your team to refer someone, and pay the incentive promptly when a hire is made. A referral program that pays slowly or inconsistently will quietly die. For entry-level roles specifically, another channel worth considering is building a direct relationship with a relevant university program, whether that's marketing, e-commerce, or digital media. Connecting with education providers or offering structured internship pathways can create a consistent flow of early career talent who are already interested in your industry. It might take a small upfront investment to set up, but over time it becomes a pipeline that runs itself. Talent pipelining is for scaling retail and e-commerce businesses that have visibility on the roles that they need to fill in the next 6 to 12 months and who are willing to start that process before the pressure hits. If you're an organization of 300, 400, 500 plus people, you already know what's coming. You know you're going to need a stronger marketing function going into the next peak season. You might even know that your content function is under-resourced for what's being asked of it. You already know. The question is whether you're going to plan around it or if you're going to react to it. This is not for businesses who are happy posting to seek and hoping for the best. This is for hiring leaders and operators who are done with that, who want control of their talent pipeline the same way they try to control their marketing, inventory, logistics, and their ad spend, strategically, intentionally, and ahead of the curve. Most businesses never build a proactive talent pipeline because it feels like work that you'll do when things slow down. But things never slow down. And by the time peak hits you, you realize you're under-resourced and it's too late to do anything about it. The brands consistently winning on talent are not the ones who react the fastest. They're the ones who planned far enough ahead that they never had to react in the first place. Here's a quick summary of what we covered today. Volume roles need a constant pipeline, always running, never paused. Specialized roles need a minimum 4-month build window, so working backwards from a start date. Multiple specialized roles need sequencing, so prioritizing by urgency and hired in the right order. The pipeline process is 4 phases. Role clarity, going live with a dedicated landing zone, keeping talent warm, and ramping up paid advertising closer to active selection. Referrals are your most underutilized pipeline channel. Invest in your incentive program and activate your team's network. Build and maintain a talent pool for people who are great but not ready to hire yet. Don't let them disappear. It starts with knowing what great actually looks like before you go looking. If this video has helped you with your hiring approach, I'd love to know about it. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget about the talent pipeline plan that's available in the description below. And if you're at the point where you know you need support building this properly, the link to book a call is in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.